Attention and effort creates opportunity, but your brand determines who gets chosen. I'm Russ Slagan, and you are watching The Big Agent Meeting. It is March 27th, and today we've got a great show lined up for you. Last week, we talked all about how running a real estate business has changed. Attention is happening earlier than ever, before listings even hit the market. And agents who win, they're not the ones that are waiting. They're the ones that are showing up consistently, building trust, and turning that attention into opportunity. This week, we're talking about taking it one step further. What happens when you actually lean in? What does it look like when you build a brand that people recognize, trust, and choose? We've got updates, we've got wins, and we've got what's working right now. Let's get into it. Today on Brokerage Brief with Holly Mabery, we're continuing the conversation from last week around coming soon listings and the shift to pre-market attention. Now that we're getting into what agents are actually asking, how does this work? What does this mean for your listings? How do you actually use this to your advantage? Holly Mabery is back with your Brokerage Brief, answering these questions the agents are already asking. Take it away, Holly.
Thanks, Russ. It has been an amazing couple of weeks in our industry. And the reason I say it like that is because we're constantly seeing things move. Well, previously we've talked a lot about the lawsuits and changing in compensation and how we protect and promote our clients' best interests. Well, that last piece, protecting and promoting our clients' best interests, it's still at the forefront of everything we do. And so the last 2 weeks have been very focused on listings and coming soons. But the key piece of this is a consumer trust and what's happening next. So this is something that Leo and I said a year ago, and it rings true more today than ever. What we do with listings now affects market access, ethics, compliance, and ultimately trust. We continue down that path together. And this is where the conversation you and I have with our sellers is critical. So I love a good history lesson, and making sure that you know where we were and how we got here is important. Let's start with virtual office websites and the Department of Justice. So NAR had provided feedback for brokers to exclude certain listings from their websites. And the DOJ came back and said, no, we want equal access to MLS data for all brokers. Okay, so that changed how we worked in the internet. Well, in 2020, because we had so many brokers that came forward to the National Association of Realtors and really asked for a policy change. They were frustrated because other brokers in their marketplace were holding back listings, weren't sharing timely, and it was really destabilizing the market. As a result, the Clear Cooperation policy came forward. Well, in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of contention around Clear Cooperation not being fair and almost reframing in words what Clear Cooperation means. And that's why I go back to the Department of Justice weighing in 2008. When we look at a free and fair marketplace and open listings being available to everybody at the same time, that becomes crucial. So last March, the National Association of Realtors was taking all of this feedback around Clear Cooperation, and they created a new status, and it was called delayed marketing, thinking that would solve for all of this that was going on. And the delayed marketing basically said you have to put your listing in the multiple listing service, but the seller can withhold it from going out on IDX, or the Internet Data Exchange, and going to different website portals like Zillow or Redfin, homes.com, even realtor.com. Well, fast forward a year, and it's amazing how things changed. What's interesting is the same group that was so upset about Clear Cooperation and so upset about making sure that went away, they have forced everybody's hand in February by saying, okay, we will sign an agreement with Redfin and we want all of our coming soons there. Okay, so the industry continued to evolve, and we saw big brokerages across the nation sign an exclusive deal with Zillow for 3 years. This is what I want you to know. At same week that the Zillow exclusivity for 3 years was announced, EXP, we have signed an agreement with homes.com and realtor.com, as well as Coming Home, that will be available on the Google search bar, to make sure that we are not just locked into one website, but we are working with many. And along those lines, we wanted to make sure that seller choice was critical in all of this. See, people keep manipulating seller choice and only having one vertical. We don't believe in that. What's important here is understanding the difference between office exclusive and clear cooperation. See, when you go back and you start to have these conversations around, hey, seller wants this. Absolutely. Seller hired you to come out, help them price their property appropriately for the market, help them make suggestions on what it will take to sell their property, and then help guide them through the most expensive transaction of their life to take care of their family and move them to their next. Now, how we do that, where we do that, what that looks like is all about the seller's needs. And this is where I want to break down two things very clearly. Office exclusive versus the clear cooperation. So office exclusive basically says, hey, I'm not ready for MLS. I'm not going there. It's not shared outside the brokerage. It's very, very small. It's very, very tight. There's no sign. There's no social media. I'm not talking to anybody about it. And there are specific times this could be possible. Maybe if you're dealing with a judge who has very sensitive materials that come before them. Maybe if you're dealing with someone who is that super high-end luxury client that really can't talk about what they're doing or how they're doing it. Could be Taylor Swift. It could be a sports star. It could be many people along those lines. Office exclusive usually has non-competes involved with it, and so much so you can't even talk about it. This is not going on your Facebook page. Clear cooperation basically says, hey, it's going to be in the MLS. It's going to be available to all the brokers in the area, and that it will be available at the same time. This is where it becomes so important, the conversation you and I have, and what we want to empower you all with. We're not going to do just one location for all listings. Exclusivity on a coming soon is problematic from an access perspective. And we want to make sure all buyers have that access. So again, I want to break down this difference between coming soon and private exclusive because they're getting confused in the marketplace and watching everybody kind of have their conversations on social media. It's really important that you and I are clear with our sellers. Coming soon means I can put you in MLS. I could even put you on one of the preferred websites, out there, whether it's realtor.com or homes.com or Zillow or whomever. I can absolutely make sure you're there while you're painting the bedroom, while you're finishing your pre-marketing. And some MLSs, they don't have coming soon, but we're lobbying for everybody to have coming soon. We're lobbying for standardization nationally. We're just not there yet. Private exclusive, however, means I'm only keeping it in this very small group of people, and I'm not going to tell anybody about it. This is what's hard. When you start to look at seller choice, and I'm going to use air quotes here, seller choice, your average days on market increases. It's on average 20 days, and 9 out of 10 listings are always converted from office exclusive to being on the MLS. And then you're taking extra long to sell. And this is actually out of a study from Bright MLS. Now we know this, in 2026, our days on market has gone up. It's increased almost 10 days nationally. As a result, when you look at holding a listing back, not sharing it as brightly as possible, and not hitting every buyer that could be ready, willing, and qualified, is that another problem? The short answer is yes. So when we start to think about empowering sellers, we do not want to restrict our buyers. And that means where can it be found? What does it look like? And who has access? And this is where we look at stats. 91% of buyers want access to all listings. Anytime you think of limiting access, I want you to think about limiting opportunity. I had a conversation with a really good friend this week, and he was talking about when you limit access and you limit it to just a small buyer pool, that could be fair housing. Is that small buyer pool all out of the same zip code? Are they all out of the same income bracket? Do they all look like one another? Do they all go to the same church? Whatever that small group of people might be. Could be your sphere of influence, could be a network that you have of investors. It could be all of these things. And anytime you go with a small group that's not wide, not broad, not public, you leave room for fair housing. Now, this is what I know. So many agents are out there really working hard to do the right thing. You would never willfully or intentionally violate fair housing. And so even bringing that up, it gives people heartburn. Like, I don't want to violate fair housing, not me. Totally agree, not you. But when we don't have the conversation with our seller and we don't expose that property, we are missing ready, willing, and qualified buyers. And when we do that, we increase the seller's time on the market. We could be decreasing the amount of money that they make, and that's a problem. Now, last year, Leo and I had the great conversation around what happens without structure, and this is what's so important for everybody to be aware of. This is what we're experiencing in real time right now. We've got different brokerages picking their favorite portal, going in different ways. We already see this around the world. Leo has talked about trying to sell his parents' home in Belize. It took multiple agents over 5 years because you don't go to an MLS. An agent doesn't have the ability to look at everything available. They may only have what's available in their office, or maybe only to themselves. In the UK, we have to pay incredible amounts of money for access to promote our listings. And it's not always fair to a buyer. So when you think of what this looks like, so many real estate agents in the world come to the US and go, oh my gosh, the MLS is first class. It's really kind of that thing that everybody is envious of. So when you sit and have a conversation with your seller, and you start to think about what it looks like when you're sitting across the table from them, and you're trying to narrow down price, and you're trying to have a better conversation. Our policy is always going to be full access with seller control. The seller is going to dictate, but it's up to you and I to have a better conversation with them always. See, we can give them choices, but also with those choices come consequences. So we can do coming soon. And if we do coming soon and we only put it in this location, you may be limiting buyers that see you. As a result, it could take more time on the market. If we put you directly on the market, great. But if we price too high, you may end up sitting on the market. So as a result, we want to get our pricing spot on. Now let's dispel a couple of myths real fast. There are a lot of folks out there who are saying, hey, coming soon or private exclusive allows me to test the market for pricing. My argument to you would be, hey, are you having struggle with pricing? Let's get you into one of EXP University's pricing classes and we'll solve that for you. Are you worried about what the market may say on your house? Okay, great. It's going to say that no matter what. And the broader market you expose it to, it's going to give you that feedback faster. When we have full access with seller control and seller decision making, we expand our transparency and we expand that trust. So what I want you to do is a very simple 3-step process. Follow the seller instructions, period. We can do office exclusives, but only with their full knowledge of what they're giving up, what they may not be getting, how much longer it may take them on the market, and helping them understand that MLS exposure equals full syndication, going as broad as possible. At the end of the day, this is about the seller. It's about what they want, but it's about what they want with the education of what it means. And so we do have the seller advisory, risks of limited market exposure, and this came out last year. So we do have some high-end luxury folks that do not go in the MLS. I respect that. They are usually signing NDAs. This is very limited where this is used, but just in case, we've got that form for you. Also, we want to make sure that if you've got folks who want to test coming soon, you absolutely may, and especially if your MLS does not syndicate to one of the big portals, but your seller wants to try that, we have you covered. So pre-marketing exposure, this toolkit just launched this last week. We're in full development of it right now with what we've got with homes.com, realtor.com, and then Come Home that will be powered by the Google search bar. This is all launching on April 15th. And if you scan that QR code or you go to that website there, EXP Toolkit / coming soon, we've got you covered. Remember, at the end of the day, everything we do is all about consumer choice with education. And that's so key. So when you are having conversations with anybody, make sure you get really clear. Are they talking about coming soon or are they talking about private exclusive? If they are limiting in any way, shape, or form, that's private. And if they go private, that could be leading to a fair housing challenge. And that's really not the intention of anybody's. So have the full conversation, make a difference, and check out these toolkits. If we can do anything for you, your brokers are available. We've got the toolkits. And of course, you can find me on the hub or on Slack. Happy to answer any questions.
All right. Thank you, Holly Mabery, always bringing us the best information and the best updates. It's been great to see you at the rallies, by the way, one-on-one. So this isn't just about understanding the shift. It's about knowing how to use it. And more importantly, how to stay in front of people long enough for it to matter. Over the last week, we've seen exactly what that looks like. In the Instagram lead mastery workshop that I taught yesterday, it wasn't something people just signed up for. It's something agents actually leaned into. We saw agents actually showing up a little differently, engaging more, starting conversations, and beginning to build real momentum in Instagram. So now is the time for you to take your business to the next level, because here's what's happening right now. It's not theoretical, it's actually working. And when you start doing the work, opportunities start to follow. That's exactly what this next conversation is about. Leo Pareja is sitting down with FASTCAP instructor Austin Chevron to talk about the FASTCAP program. This is a free training program designed to help agents build real scalable businesses in today's market. And here's where it gets interesting. Agents who actively participate in FASTCAP are now being rewarded with a free seller leads through Realty.com Seller Pro program. This is no cost to the agent. EXP is covering the cost. So this isn't just about learning. It's about turning action into opportunity. Let's take a look now.
Tell us about, you were one of our first FASTCAP instructors and probably one of our most sought after ones. So thank you for that. Can you tell us what you see in that process? Because that's for teams, but for solo agents, I feel like it's one of the easy buttons to get into production.
Well, I mean, first off, yeah, there's the only limitations we have for FASTCAP is the amount of people that can come in. Other than that, you just got to show up. I would say this, what I've learned, so I've trained FASTCAP now 3 times. We got a new one starting April 6th. So what I've seen from FASTCAP is you come in and we give you the platform, we give you the map on how to do and what to do. And now there are other pieces because real estate's very complex. You still got contracts and you got local codes and laws. There's still all these other things. But when you come into FASTCAP, what you'll get that you normally don't get in real estate is you get a map. You get to understand how things work and how to perform and how to become the best version of yourself too. Like a lot of stuff in FASTCAP, we teach you about you. And so you can become aware so then you can go out to the world and go work with people. And the stats that I see for that and the feedback is just absolutely amazing, Leo. Like it's just, I still look through the feedback, it's part of the NPS scores, and they're just like, this has changed my life. This has changed my business. Your directness, I'm pretty direct. Your directness with care and authenticity has helped me become that person that I knew is inside of me. And so it's 19 sessions of like full gas and we go. My one-on-one clients, I don't even give them that much time. It's a lot.
No, that's why it was designed that way. Because I speak all over the country and just about every time that, people come up and want to take a picture, almost always someone says, hey, I'm struggling one-on-one. What do I do? And I have the same answer for everybody. It's like, have you done FASTCAP? And they immediately kind of look down. I'm like, you didn't finish. Like I can tell, or you wouldn't be struggling. And I say to everyone one-on-one, commit to doing all 6 weeks. And if you do the activity, send me a message. And the ones that do, it's always the same. It's like, I went on 3 appointments. I have six active buyers. That's world changed dramatically. And these are people who hadn't closed a deal in 6 months every time.
And this isn't the point of FASTCAP, but being a coach and trainer, this is what I realized. When people commit to anything and they do anything, it could be working out, it could be reading, it could be training FASTCAP. When you commit, your self elevates. And when your self elevates, you start doing more things. And then you're breeding success. Activity breeds activity and success breeds success. So even just you committing to show up 19 times, that person that you become, your confidence, your character just starts to go like this. And we got new agents in there, Leo. We got team leaders in there. We got people. I think the one person I talked to is doing $20 million in sales. And they're like, well, I'm like, why, what did you come in here for? Well, I know this will help build me. I get in proximity to you. You push me. And it's pretty cool to see that stuff.
Yeah, no, I love the process, right? And I've learned that it doesn't matter how experienced you are, sometimes that kick in the butt is super helpful, right? So I actually get feedback from experienced agents who been in the business 10 years and say jumping in, and they get that reinvigorating. They're reminded of the basics that worked when they were a new agent. They kind of just forgot and were relying on repeat referral, but it was there's repeat referral that's accidental versus on purpose.
Yeah, I can think of 2 people gave me feedback, because you never know who you're training. There's like 1,000 people in there. And so you never know. You just got to go all in. You give it what you got. And one person came to me. She said, I've been in every training. I've been a real estate agent for 30 years. I've gone through every training, every mastermind. She goes, this was the best I've done out of everything. And she started listing the stuff. I'm like, these were my mentors she was naming. And then I had another lady tell me, she goes, I've been training real estate agents for 20 years. And she said, this was the best training I've seen in 20 years.
We spent a lot of time thinking and designing it that it's tactical, right? I didn't want just to check the box like, hey, we have training. I actually wanted something where at the end, people were having results and people were taking, customers and putting them under contract. Have you taught it since we added leads to it?
No, this will be the first time.
Okay, so I'm curious to hear your feedback, because again, I want to make sure they're just like when you go on an appointment, you're handling objections. I'm trying to handle all objections, right? Like you have world-class training, you have world-class trainers. Now we're actually including some leads that are live, and you can practice on those immediately the day of.
Yeah, that's like putting 2 things of jet fuel together. So I'm interested to see, because I know the training's jet fuel.
And what happened during the first cohort, everyone was so pleasantly surprised that the second one that started, people were taking appointments day one. Like, hey, I jumped on it, started making my phone calls because they signed up for the lead source. And then they literally were making calls day one and booking appointments.
Yeah. Well, a pro tip for anybody that's listening here, any lead, this is one of the things I train teams on, any lead you get from anybody, your job is to get 2 referrals from that lead. And if you do that, your business should just multiply. So anything that comes in that you didn't create, your job, you set the expectations. Hey, I'm going to treat you white glove service. The only thing I hope from you is by the time you get to the closing table that you feel comfortable to refer me to people. And if the world can take that philosophy in to say anything I'm given, I make 2 of, man, Leo, we'll skyrocket, buddy.
That's just a great philosophy, right? I used to do the same thing, and that's a Buffini tactic of, hey, the way I get my business is by giving you world-class attention. And if you can think of someone who can benefit from my value and service during the process of that, please give me their name and number and I'll call them, right? Just even the slight variation of saying, give me their number and I'll call them, versus I'm going to tell them to call you, right? Because then people get busy, get nervous, get uncomfortable, forget. The sentence I think a lot about when I'm coaching agents is, no one lies in bed at night worrying if you have enough to eat. Not because they don't love you, not because they don't care about you, not because you're a good person. It's because they're laying in bed at night worried about feeding their own family, right? So even when you have an ask, just the variation of saying, hey, when you think of someone, call me with their name and number, and I will reach out to them and deliver world-class service that you enjoyed.
All right. Thank you very much, Leo and Austin Chevron. If you guys want to watch that full interview with it end to end, check it out on eXp Realty's YouTube channel. We've got the full version there. Make sure you check it out. Austin and Leo always have great conversations, full throttle, full contact. Check it out on the YouTube channel. All right. Next up, we have Ian Wheatley with KGCI Update. Ian Wheatley, take it away, brother.
Well, thank you, Mr. Lagan, and great job yesterday at the Instagram workshop. For those of you that have been watching the Big Agent meeting today, really hope you've been paying attention, because everything that's been talked about so far, all about attention, consistency, showing up. But all of that breaks down if one thing ain't right: your brand. Not your logo, not your colors, but how people actually experience you.
Your brand is who you are, not who you aspire to be. I think that's another mistake a lot of people can make. Think about yourself as a Netflix TV show, like your brand's a Netflix TV show and you are the main character. what does that main character do that keeps people coming back to watch the next episode, or making sure that they don't miss, they don't miss the next episode because they don't want to see spoilers, and really heavily lay into that to connect with your audience.
And if you're out here just trying to be someone else, people won't connect. And if they don't connect, they don't remember you. And if they don't remember you, they will never choose you. So that is exactly what we're breaking down today, right after the big agent meeting on KGCI Real Estate On Air. This week's Friday Focus is all about the top rules of personal branding for real estate agents, okay? Not how to look better, but how to actually become someone people recognize, trust, and come back to. So download that always free Real Estate On Air mobile app for iPhone and Android. And do not forget about that all new realestateonair.fm to turn on KGCI Real Estate On Air.
All right. Thank you, Ian Wheatley, for KGCI update. So when your brand is clear, everything else gets easier. If you're ready to take everything we've talked about and take it to the next level and actually build it into your business, there's a lot right now happening inside eXp University. We've got FASTCAP, we've got featured programming, and what's coming next on eXp Realty's YouTube channel, Alyssa Specht is here to tell you more. Take it away, Alyssa.
Thanks, Russ. What's up, everybody? Good to see all of you. Guys, let's get into it. Right now, there's a lot of focus on getting more leads, but the agents who are killing it consistently, they aren't just generating more, they're getting more out of what they already have. And this starts with your database. So let me tell you about something we've got coming up. It is our Icon Lead Mastery, expanding your database and SOI. This is where this all starts, because your database is not just a list, it is your most predictable source of business. So in this session, this is all part of our Lead Mastery series. You're going to learn how to grow your sphere intentionally, how to stay top of mind without feeling transactional, without feeling salesy. And guys, this is all about building a business that compounds over time. So we're going to tell you how to work that database, how to work that SOI to build a sustainable business. So guys, join us. This takes place on April 14th, and you want to register at expuniversity.com. So now that our foundation is strong, let me break down about what's happening for the rest of the week here. Guys, coming up next week, join us for Level Up on Monday. We've got Livia Petro. And if you're showing up and you are on Instagram, but you are not seeing the results yet, you want to join for this one. Livia is going to break down how she went from 0 sales to over 800 inquiries in just 25 days. So guys, that's Level Up on Monday. You do not want to miss that. Then we've got Executive Masterclass, and we've got Nadia Habib on here. So if you're building a business, but you're trying to maintain balance at the same time, Nadia is going to walk us through how to create a profitable, sustainable business while still adapting to that market shift. So guys, that is going to be Thursday on Executive Masterclass. Now let's take a look over to Friday. We're back in the lab with the Lab Podcast, this time with Ola Thompson. Guys, if you're chasing new leads instead of actually maximizing your entire network, tune in here. Ola's going to show us how to build a business powered by your sphere. We already know that that's the kind of business that we want. So guys, tune in. That's the Lab Podcast on Friday. Make sure you add all of that to your calendar, tag your team, and I'll see you there.
Thank you, Alyssa Specht. Always appreciate your perspective and bringing great stuff to us and letting us know what's coming along next. So the opportunity is there. The systems are there. The only question is, are you going to use them? Last week, we talked about where attention is going. That's where your business is flowing. This week, we showed you what happens when you act on it. The agents who win in this market aren't the ones that are waiting to be chosen. They're building brands that get you chosen first. My name is Russ Lagan. Thank you for watching the Big Agent Meeting. We will see you